Next, Will Hall brings us an update on a class project involving the creation and use of a virtual hotel in Kenya.
Last December, we aired a conversation about the use of Second Life, a virtual world program in an educational setting. Back with us today to talk more about the project started by his visual communication class is Dr. Jan Holmevik of the Clemson University English Department. Joining him is Christopher Ball, a graduate student from Clemson University. Thank you both for being on your day.
Thank you.
Dr. Holmevik, I'll start with you. For anybody that missed the previous segment, could you tell us what the project is about and where it is today?
Yes, Second Life is an online virtual world in which people can connect from anywhere in the world. We have built a representation of a location in the Maasai Mara nature reserve in Kenya. It's a hotel, and it's designed to be a training facility for tourist guides and hotel staff in the Basecamp Maasai Mara.
Okay. Talk a little bit about your background in Second Life. How did you begin using it? Did you start using it were you just playing around with it, or did you start using it for educational purposes?
I came across Second Life in 2005, and I have been working with virtual worlds since 1995, so Second Life represented new form of virtuality using 3D models and 3D spaces, and I found that to be interesting development, and so I started using it at Clemson in 2007 and doing projects on Virginia Woolf online in Second Life, and also now this latest project on the Maasai Mara, and I had a project with Dr. Dina Batista in architecture where we built an implementation of the hospital room of the future within Second Life.
What has been your role in the project since our class finished it?
So I'm the project manager, if you will. My role is to make sure that we have progress going forward, that we set ourselves goals that can be implemented and met, and that are pedagogically sound. And then I am also supervising Christopher and Yuchi. I am on Yuchi's PhD committee, and I'm working with Christopher also in his master's work. So I'm both an academic supervisor and project advisor on this project.
Now, Christopher, how did you become involved with the project?
I actually became involved in the project when Dr. Holmevik mentioned it briefly. I was new to Clemson's campus, searching for people doing innovative stuff with technology and video games and virtual worlds in particular, and I was sort of scrambling to find like-minded people, and Dr. Holmevik was nice enough to sort of let me in on some of his research, and I was like, well, that sounds really cool. And when my schedule opened up to sort of work on this sort of stuff, he was like, well, you want to help with the Maasai project? And I thought that was an awesome opportunity, so I jumped right on board with that, because I'm all about anything on Clemson's campus that is actually using this new technology right now. So,
okay, what have your responsibilities been since beginning your work on this project?
Largely, I'm, I guess, the go-to builder guy at this point, to put it simply. The way I see it, most design processes in virtual environments, I've built one before this one. They're sort of divided into, I guess you could say, two phases. And one, you're actually building. So you're building buildings and, the terrain, the stuff that the undergraduates did. And then you have another phase in which you have to make that environment functional for guests. And one of the large things I've been doing on the project since I started was making the environment functional. And that includes adding things like slide boards to give information to people, or video boards, that sort of thing, so that it can be not only entertaining but educational as well. So, and it doesn't actually require there be somebody in there at all times. People can still go at their leisure and still get the full experience with the content included.
What's been your favorite part of the project?
My favorite part is actually the cultural aspect. I think it's sort of a widely held belief that culture sort of technology overrides culture, I guess you could say, and that technology is consuming cultures around the world. And while there is some merit to that, I think in the end, I think this is a perfect example of how culture and technology can sort of meld together, and one doesn't necessarily have to cancel out the other. I love that one of the big driving influences in this project is to keep the Maasai culture going and to show it in a new and interesting way.
If I may add to that, we since the last project that you were involved in, Will, or the previous revision, we have included a lot more cultural content, videos of people talking about the project in world, also Maasai representatives who are now been interviewed and who can be now seen in Second Life, and so we've added a lot of the sort of cultural framework to the project. We've had two graduate students, Christopher and Yu Chi, working on this for their own toward their own aims. So we're trying to combine giving them this research opportunity while at the same time developing a project that can be deployed and used. And so they have, in the last few weeks, collected data on usage of the space. And I'll let Christopher tell you more about that.
Yes, so it's been a busy few weeks. Aside from bringing the environment up a little bit in terms of functional quality, one of the big things we wanted to start doing was seeing how people interact with it, what happens when people get in there, and particularly what is their experience like, not only with Second Life itself, but the experience of visiting a virtual Maasai Mara. So for the past 2 weeks, we've done some pretty intensive data gathering, I guess you could say, with a number of classes, and there's been some really great students and great professors that have worked with us on that, and we've had a chance to have some undergraduates come in, and we basically divided it into 3 sections, where there was a tutorial day, and then there was a field trip day, and then there was a final like Maasai Mara adventure sort of day, and each one of those sections was about an hour, and we were able to really gather some awesome data, not only on how people use it, but how they experience the actual Maasai Mara. So it's been extremely interesting, and everybody's been great helping us out with that.
Dr. Holmevik, is there anything you would like to add?
Yes. At Clemson University, we're very concerned with doing research. It's one of our main goals and focuses as a research university, and specifically undergraduate research. But in this project, started out as an undergraduate research project that has now moved on to graduate level research, and at the same time it combines 3 different academic organizations at Clemson. So it's the Department of English, Park Recreation and Tourism Management, and then Applied Sociology. So it not only connects undergraduate and graduates doing research, but it also spreads out across 3 different academic areas, and the synergy from all of this is really amazing. It's really a great thing going on.
My guests today have been Dr. Jan Holmevik of Clemson's English Department and Christopher Ball, a graduate student working with him on the next stages of a project to create a Second Life representation of the Maasai Mara Basecamp in Kenya. Dr. Holmevik, Christopher, thank you both for being on your day.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
We'll hear from other participants in the Maasai Mara Basecamp project this Thursday on your day. Meanwhile, you can find links to more information about the Clemson University Maasai Mara Basecamp project, including Will's December 2nd conversation with Dr. Holmevik, at yourday.clemson.edu.